Hello, Discovering Women audience. My name is Linda Viscardis. I'm the outgoing managing editor of the Discovering Women magazine, soon to be replaced by Melody McCullough, and I'm quite sure that's going to be an amazing journey. And today I have the honor of hosting the first Discovering Women video interview. Really excited today to speak with my guest, Robin Courneya-Roblin. And so we're going to find out a little bit about Robin today, and I hope that you'll enjoy this little chat that we're going to have. So today I'd like to just find out all about you. I'm really excited to get to know you. The first thing that I'd like to know is a little bit about you. So can you tell me just a little bit about who you are and your family, where you come from, that sort of thing?
Great, yes, thank you. So thrilled to be here. I am a seventh child of 9 children and a great Catholic family. And I was actually born in Ottawa, and my dad's job took us to Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is where I kind of consider that to be home because that was during my formative years. And so I have 6 sisters and 2 brothers. I'm currently married and have 2 girls, Dana and Brenna. And I've been in Peterborough now for close to 17 years, which is amazing. Yeah, so.
Do you like Peterborough?
Yeah, I really love Peterborough, and there's something about that heritage because my dad's family, his family of 14, and my dad passed away about 10 years ago, but there's only just a few left of the 14, but it really does feel like home because of that family connection.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
And so, what is it that you do?
Well, I'm called a sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics, and basically what that means, I'm actually a consultant as well, so I work with cosmetics and skincare, and really my job is really to help women look and feel their best every day. As a sales director, I help mentor and kind of coach. I'm not a boss or a micromanager or anything like that. I help coach about 200 women that are in my unit, that we all kind of work together at various different levels, and so my job is to make sure that they're feeling supported throughout their business, and that I'm somebody in their life who can help them with some training and some moral support as well.
That's a really amazing thing. There are so many people out there who are just crying for that kind of support in their life, and you seem like a really good person to be able to do that kind of a job. That's a pretty big job. So I'm just wondering, where did this impetus, this passion come from?
Well, I worked in retail. I always worked around a lot of people. And from, say, in management, you were working on both sides, sort of, so you're working with the public and you're working with the staff as well. So, and to make everything, I really do believe that in that management position, the more that you can do to help value people, the better off everybody's going to be. The person coming into your store, the people who you're working with. So it's really about that empowerment. So for me, it was really important. I was a single parent for a lot of years, and I felt at times very powerless. And I worked for some bosses who were super micromanagers, and it wasn't all that. I felt defeated. Now, I take responsibility for everything in my life, and I really believe that everything I've gone through has helped make me who I am today. So I'm not here to bash anybody. But I think that it's important for us to know that no matter what, we really have to be careful and be really proactive about how we talk to people, what we say. Sometimes just a very offhanded comment that you think is not too much can be a whole lot for somebody else. So I think that to do what I'm doing today, it was all about empowering. I felt disempowered in a lot of ways. And so I wanted to feel great, and I wanted to feel valued, because there were times I didn't feel valued. And I didn't even know whether I felt like I deserved being valued. I think that's how a lot of women do feel. Even though we don't talk about it, it's there, it's underlying, and that's why sometimes we go, why aren't we getting ahead? So I think that when you can help to discover, help look at a woman, help her discover, I call it her inner giant. It's like what's inside of you that's just aching to get out. So sometimes it's just through asking some good questions. It's not about telling people, it's about having them figured out, and I think that's very empowering. So I was lucky to have a mentor who asked me all the right questions.
That's good.
For me to figure out, I learned.
Yeah, that's great. It sounds as though your experiences in your life have really developed a great deal of empathy inside of you. And it seems to me from what you're saying that you're able to meet people and sort of see deep down inside, past the facade, and sort of see who they really are and who they could be, maybe even beyond what they could see for themselves. Would you say that?
Absolutely. I think sometimes, and you know, I think people sometimes would look at somebody who is successful on the outside and just think, well, they look great, and so they must have it all together. And I think it's important for us as women to share those things that we don't feel all together about, because it's okay to share those things. It makes it okay for that next person to be able to work through it. So yeah, I think that there was a time in my life when I thought people looked at me and thought, she's probably not capable. I don't think it maybe was what they thought. It's how I felt about myself.
Right. I'd love to know a little bit more about that. So where did this feeling come from? What do you want to share with us a little bit about your past that helped you to develop this very deep empathy for other people?
Well, I was a single parent, and I was married at age 21. I had my daughter at 23, and my marriage didn't last for too long, and it was not a great marriage. And so, starting out as a single parent, I felt really judged. I think sometimes we do that in society, you know, and I felt everybody could offer their 2 cents and tell me exactly what I should or shouldn't be doing. And I think that was maybe just the times back then. It was in the 80s, maybe. Hopefully things have changed now. But so back then it was, yeah, I found that so difficult. Even teachers I found sometimes treated me a little bit differently. But again, you know what? It was a stigma. There was a stigma attached. I was in a community that was all, there wasn't another single parent in my little community in Nova Scotia.
Oh my goodness.
But there have been since, and it was so,
Yeah,
like,
it's hard to
while I was
imagine.
living there, I actually, there was a person who, he and his wife were splitting up, and somebody said, call Robin. And so he called and said, I don't know what this is about, I don't, you know, and so I did. I offered him suggestions and some things that maybe he could do, and, you know, that type of thing. So back then, it just, I felt fairly stigmatized. So, and so in feeling that way, I didn't feel empowered enough to go beyond where I was. And so all the people that kind of I felt were pushing me down, it was really me not standing up for myself and saying, I am worthy and I deserve. That's what I want women to understand. I don't care where you are. We deserve so much. We deserve the best.
Absolutely. And your children.
Yeah.
Your children deserve the best too. Can you tell me a little bit about your children?
Well, they're both amazing people. And I've always said to people when making a decision, what would you say to your children? Would you tell them, you know, would we ever say to our kids, sorry, honey, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you're worth it. I don't think, you know, whatever it might be, would we ever tell our kids that? Never. But why do we tell ourselves that?
Right.
We do tell ourselves that sometimes. Kids, it's not about what we say. I love the Maya Angelou quote. It's not what we say, it's not what we did, it's how we made a person feel.
Right.
And I know I didn't say that exactly right, but the gist of it is, it's really important that they understand and feel the truth,
Yeah.
really. So my 2 girls are lovely. What I love about my 2 girls is that they see other people, they care about other people. My oldest daughter is so great with the elderly. It's like I say the forgotten people in our society, basically. And she works over at St. Joseph Fleming, and just some of the comments, I think just get teary about it because it's so important, and it's the people we forget about. It's like to just spend a bit of time with them, and so I'm just so very proud of her. She's a great person. And then my youngest daughter, Brenna. My oldest daughter's 31, so this is the age gap. Remarried. I have my daughter Brenna, who's 14 now, just graduated from grade 8. She was a valedictorian.
Oh, wow.
And
Congratulations.
I know, I'm so proud of that, and not in a way like the principal award as well. It's about a well-rounded person. The valedictorian part I knew was about her peers. And so I'm very proud of that because she cares about what's happening out there. There was a great deal of gratitude in her speech, which I was so thrilled about because it was all about, this isn't just about me and us and how, look at how great we did. It's about who helped us get here. Every single teacher she thanked.
Isn't that beautiful?
It was wonderful.
Did she thank you too?
Oh, definitely.
Yes, that's beautiful.
I feel like she thanked everybody she could possibly thank, and there was even to the custodian. It's like, I really believe every person person is such an important part in any business or in any company, in any school, in any establishment. We're all important parts. There's not a hierarchy. I don't like that feeling.
I like that. That's beautiful.
And that to me is so empowering. And the school that my daughter went to was, I felt that way, that everybody was important.
But look what you've done. You've taken of yourself from a maybe what could be perceived as a negative situation. You have come up through that. You found your strength inside, and you shared that strength with your daughters. I just get a little bit of goosebumps here.
I'm so proud. I could just get very emotional about that, because that for me was something that I didn't know what I could pass on back then.
But obviously now you do.
I do.
And not only are you passing it along to your children, but you're passing it along to the people that you're mentoring. So could you tell our audience a little bit about how you bring these skills into your business? A little bit. And what is your business like? Tell them how that helps. How that helps you to do what it is that you do on a day-to-day business.
Absolutely. Well, I think first of all, in anything we do, obviously mine is a sales position as well as a mentoring position. But every day, people sell every single day. And sometimes I think we try to sell our kids on certain things. We try to sell our husband on certain things. That's part of it. So that whole psychology behind, the sale basically. So to me, what I want women to feel is valued. I want them, women like to buy things, like in my business we do sell things, as well as an opportunity. But I want women to come around to that on their own. So the empowering part is to ask the questions that will lead them to an answer. Because I don't have to make a decision for people, they can make their own decision about whether they want to purchase something or whatever. So to me, that whole empowering part is integrity and trust and honesty. It's all those things every day, but that's what we want. What do I want? I want the same things.
Exactly.
What do I want for my children? The same thing.
See, what you've done is you've managed to bring that level of empathy forward, built in integrity, and then you've managed to bring that into your whole life. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's something so gratifying. It's never about the sale.
It's never about that.
It's about the feeling you get when somebody feels great.
Right.
And they know that they can trust you.
Right.
And and that's why they come back.
And you walk away feeling like you've got a big heart, right?
Oh, it feels great, because I think as women we have this huge capacity to love. There's a flip side to that, and you see that in corporate Canada with women sometimes, that we're set up to in that area to kind of compete, so that if there's one position open, we're all like, So sometimes, so to have it that everybody can feel really great, that to me is, because when we affect a woman's life in a positive way, we affect generations of women to come, and a circle around them. It's important. Even one person can make a difference in one other person's life.
So I'd like to ask you to dig a little deeper there. I'm wondering about, I know that in this type of business that you're in, that there's a lot of conversation around why. Why do you do this? Why put so much effort into this business? Why, the hours and the energy? Can you talk a little bit about how you help the people that you are mentoring, the people that you're working with, the customers that you deal with, how you help them to get in touch with their why?
Yeah, I really believe women like to look and feel good every single day. I liken it to when my dad was in a nursing home, and what clothing my mother sent in for my dad when he was in a nursing home with Alzheimer's. And on Sunday, he dressed up, and I said, Mom, he needs to be dressed up every day. He needs to feel good and look good every day, because that is what we all deserve. So once that changed, it was like there was a different perception as well. And I don't want it to just be about the outside, because it's never about that.
Right.
It's about bringing the inside out.
That seems to me to be the type of person that you are, with the empathy, the integrity. It's the inside, right?
Absolutely, because that will translate on the outside. It always does. Like for a client, I like them to discover how beautiful they are. And sometimes it's just a little bit, and sometimes we just weren't taught. When I was a kid, my mom put lipstick on, and we knew she was going out, and there were 9 of us, and we'd say, no, don't leave us with Dad, because he was very strict. so lipstick was kind of like, makeup was maybe had a negative connotation for me, And that was probably all that she had time for, possibly, I don't know. But when I got older, I wanted to look my best. And it wasn't about a mask. It's about my esteem showing through on the outside, not about hiding something.
Right.
So for me, I think that when I can teach a woman some really quick little tips about how to look great, it's not about breaking the bank. It's not about all those things. It's about self-care.
Mm-hmm.
It's about every day feeling and looking your best. Your Sunday best every single day. Why wear that piece of clothing that just doesn't feel great on you and you're tugging and pulling at it? Wear something great every day that speaks to you and speaks to others of who you are.
Right.
Yes.
It sounds as though what you're able to do is to help people really discover their strength inside, and then to help them to bring that strength out into the world and maybe shed a little light into the world. And I think that's really phenomenal. Obviously, you've been very successful in your business. And I'm wondering what kind of advice do you have for people who are just, women in particular, of course, who are just kind of venturing out. They might be at that stage where you were when you were younger and not seeing that beauty within. What kind of advice would you have for them as they're venturing out?
That's great. I really believe it's like, your circle who's around you. You really have to kind of start there. And if there's some negativity or somebody's really saying, don't do that, or a lot of times they'll try to pull somebody down a little bit because they don't want them to go beyond where they are. So it's like find the strength to find that positive person who's going to look at you and just say, you deserve this. So it's really important to find that mentor person that they can trust and believe in, who want the best for them, right? Not to just give advice, because it's not about that. It's about asking questions, just like what you're doing today. It's asking them, because we have our own answers inside of us. And so to pull those answers out, because when we speak, it's our truth.
Yes.
So that's really, really important. So I think it's just starting now. Also, I really believe if you have children or somebody, a parent in your life, would you say to them what you say to yourself? Stop saying that now and say something more empowering, because you do deserve it. And you know what? Sometimes it's just taking a leap of faith.
Right.
Sometimes it's got to get kind of scary, but that word fear, acronym for false evidence appearing real.
Right.
As soon as we get into action, fear can dissipate and
Exactly.
it's gone. So it's like, don't feel powerless, because we have one life. We have one life. This is it. I don't care how old anybody is, because I didn't learn this when I was younger, and I kind of feel like maybe I went through the school of hard knocks. For a time, it doesn't matter, because that was my journey, but the whole point is I wasn't going to stay there.
Right.
It's like, tell yourself as well, you deserve everything, and you can do anything. We can do anything. We're amazing women. We can do
I
anything.
feel like we're having a little session here. This is really nice.
The exact same way. Obstacles, anything in your life is an opportunity to learn and grow. When we repeat things and it keeps happening, it's our nudge for whatever we believe in, our beliefs are. It's a nudge to say, what can I do differently? Because I haven't learned this lesson yet.
Right.
So it's like, I felt like I needed to be hammered in the head quite a few times over my time of my first marriage. As a single parent, to try to finally figure out, and it all had to do with, it just was coming from me. I was looking for it externally, and everybody else was going to come fix me. That isn't going to happen. Nobody can fix me. Nobody can fix you. We can fix ourselves. We can surround ourselves with great people for the most part. Sometimes we have a difficult time, because sometimes those people are in our own families, But it just is, we just have so much, and we just cannot ever stop. Listen, I've had lots of challenges in my life, and if people knew even how I lived in that first marriage, and to look at me now, you'd never believe that this could have even happened. And it's always been an embarrassment and a shame to have gone through that, but it's only going to be that way if I stayed there.
And it made you who you are today, right? So
embrace your obstacles, that's right, because it will make you a better person. Had I had no challenges as a female all those years, I would never be able to understand any of the challenges women go through today.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's so beautiful. It really comes back to that empathy, right?
Absolutely.
I'm wondering if you have any final words for our audience here today.
Well, you know what? I just really believe that we have to watch what we say to ourselves every single day. You know, a lot of times the thoughts that are in our head and in our subconscious are not our words, they're somebody else's. We need to get rid of those. We need to really look at ourselves and say, this is important not only for me, but for everybody I come in contact with, my children, my husband, my boyfriend, my parents, whoever it might be, it is important. And also just to finish off with, you're important. Like, know that you are so special and so important, and people do care and do value you.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.